speed itself, speed is a fairly recent phenomenon, but speed has made the exchangeability of capital perceptible. Before, capital was invisible, now it's visible in every single instant, in every single image. Not through image itself, but the exchangeability of it, exchangeability of news, exchangeability of ideas. Perception is, of course, in a state of crisis, because we see everything, but we don't not just remember everything. There is no time to register anything. For there to be memory, there has to be traces. And fortunately, it's at the very root of perception that the erasure occurs. So memory itself has become impossible.
If there's one general definition of my practice, it would probably be that it's about the deceleration of perception. And indirectly the deceleration, of course, of time and duration and the way we perceive duration. It's all about the moment where the eye has time to travel through the image and make poetic connections by itself, with very little montage to steer it.
We don't know what a moment is made of. We don't know what an image is made of. And by making it more and more specific, there's a possibility of creating a memory, right? A memory could be the artwork at some time. And that, I think, is entirely legitimate as a strategy.
This internet work, which I did for Dia Center, which is called Present, by giving the opportunity to the internet user to download a flower on the computer and let it live for about a week's time, in which it gradually decays on your desktop and then disappears and leaves a seed. It actually leaves a little folder with a note, and that note is in reality a link to the Dia Center. And then you can send this link as a present to a friend, after which another flower can be downloaded from the server of Dia. So I tried to create a sense of organic time amidst this virtual environment.
Reality is actually not reality, but something that's made. I don't know what other strategies there is. It can be diversified, it can be specified. And also, it's important that it's specified because it is, each time it has to be singular. It is in this situation that something could be examined. At this point, we should maybe come up with the idea of the two kinds of instantaneities. One that is the eradication of time, the other one that is some sort of slowing down, some reclaiming of duration in instantaneity.
My work starts from probably more from the fixed frame, from the frame of which you know it will not evolve in time, or you assume it will not evolve in time because it's already, it appears to be photographic. And then it does evolve. That's how I came into contact with time-based media, through photography. Essentially, whatever I did from that time on also has a lot to do with sort of resistance. In a resistance towards forgetting. And I almost naively considered my job to give a second life to photography and to allow for openings in the interpretation of a fixed image. I very much think that different realities can exist together and sort of live in parallel without them conflicting, while still keeping both their individual qualities and somehow also enriching one another. There's this piece called Ruurlo, Bokurlosjeweg, 1910, and the title is taken from the inscription on the postcard where I got the image from. It was actually one of my first animations. It's a very simple animation, but with an important performance attached to it, in the sense that the tree which is depicted on that postcard still exists. So what I did is I went back to that village and I filmed the old tree and literally placed it back in the old photograph. Anything that's got to do with this fine line between arts and animation is a sort of tricky area. But I think I solved that problem by considering that the movement of the tree was rather a caressing of surface of the photograph, rather than an animation. So I don't see movement linked to energy. It's more linked to a sort of surface, flatness, and in that sense, it belongs perfectly to the photographic. And movement in works like Ruurlo become negotiators between the past and the present. The piece behind me escapes a little bit both territories, in the sense that there are two speeds combined. One is a high compression of time, where 9 hours are compressed into a period of 11 minutes, and has been photographed with interval technology, so that means 1 image per second per centimeter. And the other part of the picture, the woman coming out of the house with a tray of coffee, has been filmed with a high-speed camera. So her body movement results in an extreme slow motion. And the first part of the video gives the sense of that nothing will really move on quickly ever. It has this long slow motion quality about it. While at a certain point when the lady turns around towards the camera, so at the moment of this eye contact between camera and the woman, then you actually start feeling that there are two contrasting or paradox times combined here. And that's something that I've never done in any of my other works in this way, in this very literal way, using on one hand a real sense of slow motion and a real sense of speeding up simultaneously.